My wife, 34F, and I, 37M, have struggled financially over the past 5 years, not because of reckless spending, but due to low-paying jobs and living in an area with a high cost of living. 2 years ago, I managed to secure an incredible deal on a house with a low mortgage, which meant we no longer had to rely on anyone else to cover our bills. It took years of work, and I handled it all because any time I tried to involve my wife, she'd say it was too much to understand. We had minor fights over things like selling an $800 fridge with the old house instead of keeping it, but ultimately, we moved into a larger, newer house in the countryside that was far more affordable. After the move, I landed a great job that paid nearly 3 times what I was earning before. Between my job and hers, we finally had financial stability, with a $10,000 emergency fund and no stress over bills. Then things started to shift. My wife began complaining about the stress of her retail job. Around the same time, I started a small hobby selling products on Etsy, which unexpectedly took off and brought in about $20,000 in profit the first year. I saw it as a great side hustle to help us pay off the mortgage early and save for trips. However, my wife saw it as a chance to cut back on her retail hours. She went part-time, and I agreed, though I was worried since I never viewed the Etsy shop as a stable long-term business. As her retail hours decreased, we had to turn the Etsy shop into a more serious operation. This meant learning new skills, balancing business finances, and figuring out how to pay her as a part-time employee. Things got tense when she cut her hours even further and lost her health insurance, which meant I had to add her to my plan, raising our insurance costs by 2.5 times. Meanwhile, I was working 40 hours a week at my primary job and an additional 20 to 30 hours running the Etsy shop. On top of that, I handled all the housework, cleaning, cooking, repairs, mowing, while she said she was too busy with the shop to help. Her contributions to the shop mostly involve cleaning, packaging, and shipping items, while I handle manufacturing, advertising, and customer service. Recently, she announced she was cutting her retail hours to just 24 hours a week and wanted the shop to make up the difference. But the shop has been slowing down. Last year it brought in $20,000, but this year it's only on track for $12,000, with projections showing it could drop further. I told her this was too risky, as Etsy could shut us down at any moment, or demand for our products could dry up. Her response: "It's not my decision. Cutting her retail hours will lose us $4,000 to $6,000 annually, meaning the shop needs to generate an additional $500 to $800 per month just to break even. That burden falls on me, increasing my work hours to over 100 per week just to keep us afloat." Meanwhile, if there are no shop orders, she spends her time playing video games or sleeping, claiming her ADHD makes it hard for her to contribute more to housework. I've encouraged her to look for a better-paying job so we could return the Etsy shop to being the side hustle it was always meant to be. But she hates change and won't even consider the idea. Instead, she seems willing to risk everything by clinging to the shop, even as it struggles. Desperate to keep us afloat, I've started looking into getting a second job in security, where I could potentially work in the shop during slow shifts. But that would mean working 60-plus hours a week at formal jobs, on top of handling the shop and all the house chores. It's starting to feel like we're back where we were 5 years ago, scraping by, living on ramen noodles and water to cut costs. The thought of working 60 to 80 hours a week, only to come home to more work and endless responsibilities, has left me panicking and feeling utterly overwhelmed. It's gotten so bad that I've caught myself spiraling into dark thoughts, wanting to run away, or worse, contemplating if there's any way out of this crushing cycle. Last week, I exploded on her. I told her she was pushing too much work on me and putting too much faith in a hobby business to support us instead of finding a better job and helping out more around the house. She insists she'll do better, but I'm skeptical, given how things have been going. AITAH for losing my temper and saying she's being lazy and irresponsible?